It is Sunday morning soap block. We're beginning. Three, two, you.
Hey guys, it's me, just me and me alone. I'm Candice Mack, and I'm Candice Mack. That's it. I am on my own today because Amanda is quote unquote on assignment, aka under the weather. So we hope that Amanda feels much better so she can return and tell you her spin of things on CBS's newest soap, Beyond the Gates, which you're watching, the Beyond the Gates Aftershow. Hi, happy Sunday. Happy spring. We're now in spring. Springtime in Fairmount Crest. And you're watching JLJ Media, the home of the Sunday Shady Soap Block. Real quick, after this is the Young and the Restless and Bold smushed together mini spotlight. We're going to break it all down. And it's an important week with these two shows because tomorrow is the Bold and the Beautiful anniversary. And then a couple days later is the Young and the Restless anniversary. Yes, yes, yes. William J. Bell said the last week of March is when he was going to debut all his babies. Look at that. Look how that works. After that, James and Frank are going to talk about General Hospital, which there is some questions that needs to be answered and some answers that we have to figure out the questions too. Fourth child, there's a fourth child.
Yeah, that was weird. That was weird. And but I gotta tell you, Friday's episode though, my heart was in my throat the whole episode. So much was going on. I was like, what's gonna happen to certain characters? I'm out.
Okay, and that was the voice of God, James Lyginger. There you go. And then head over to the Dish and Days crew because now here's the thing: it ties into GH and Days. Carson Boltman, who is currently playing Johnny Demure on Days of Our Lives, made a statement of where he would like to go to next. He made a statement about maybe General Hospital. General Hospital fans who watch Days are trying to figure out if he was to come on to General Hospital, which character could he play? So far, there's three. Some people saying that he should play Jake, Cameron, or Dylan. Find out what James Frank and the Dish and Days crew might think. You know, we don't know. And also, it's a good time to be a soap fan. Why? Because the soaps have been popping on the trending. Because last Sunday, Michael B. Jordan, our Reggie #2 from All My Children, and I say #2 because #1 was Chadwick Boseman. I don't know if you knew that or not. Won his first Oscar, becoming the 6th African-American male to win lead actor. So congratulations. And then, of course, everybody was talking about, oh, he started on soaps. And then it's opened the floodgates of who started on soaps. Now, you know, we all know who started on soaps. But then and this is the reason I'm wearing the shirt. So this is an MMC shirt. And for those who don't know what MMC is, it is the Mickey Mouse Club. You guys know the Mickey Mouse Club. But there was a resurgence in the 80s to the 90s that had Kerry Russell, who's a Golden Globe winner, Matt Morris, Tony Luca, Dale Goodman, Rona Bennett, who James has actually had in Vogue on here, right? So you know Rona. And of course, Brittany, Justin, Christina, y'all know that. But there was a young guy named Ryan Gosling who made a comment about how hard the soap actors, they worked their butts off. He was giving love to the soap genre. So it is currently trending right now what he talked about on a podcast, saying, you know, and he knows his soaps. He knows his soaps, okay? He talked about Days of Our Lives, a certain storyline with a certain person that I can't say on this network because, you know, but it was popular, okay? He knows his soaps, but he did like Bo and Hope. So, you know, so check this out. And that's about it. All right. Hope you guys are having a great weekend. Like I said, like and subscribe to JLJ Media. Oh yeah, Chadwick was on. So Chadwick was the original Reggie on All My Children. I think James did a after show about that. about talking about All My Children, and before Michael, there was Chadwick. So that's
I
the
did.
kind of
I did.
cool
Thank
thing.
you.
Yeah, there you go. So that's the cool thing that Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, was first, and then Michael B. Jordan was the second one. The more you know. You never know who will come from the world of soaps, and that's why I know everybody who follows me, you guys know I'm always saying, if it wasn't for soaps, you wouldn't have Star Wars. If it wasn't for soaps, you wouldn't have dot 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 dot. So, soaps are it's the training camp for a lot of actors who've gone on to Oscars, Tonys, Golden Globes, Emmys, Grammys even. So people on the outside, stop knocking soaps down because we're proving a point. Thank you. All right. So make sure you like and subscribe to JLJ Media. Like I said, after this Young and Restless, Bold and Beautiful, GH, head over to the Edition Days crew. Tell them I said hi, because I'm the only fan that has recorded a video for Fan of the Week. Also, let's see what else is going on. That's it that I can think of. Oh, by the way, have you guys checked out the Daytime Emmy special with me and James? We recorded it early last week to talk about the new changes in the world of the Emmys. They are so trying to be the primetime Emmys. Some people agree with the new changes, some people do not. Watch the video, listen to it on audio as well, and tell us what you think. Do you think this is going to bite them in the butt? Or is this a really good fit? Especially for all the shows to go against each other. When I say all, soaps, talk shows, going at it. So we'll see what happens. All right. So it was a short week in Fairmount Crest. Usually Amanda and me are telling you how we're going to get through the gates. Here's what happened. Pretty much, I just slept with somebody so I can get through. Now, I'm a good girl. See, that's what Amanda would do. However, I chose the high road. What did Candice do? I lied on Ashley so I could sneak in, because Ashley got in trouble with the supervisor, with the chief of staff this week. Sorry, Ashley, I love you, but girl, you took a lot. So I want to start with her real quick. And by the way, I've decided I'm putting my foot down. You guys in the chat room, you guys are my co-hosts today. So yeah, you can come on. I mean, if we could, if Jace went, we wouldn't be able to do that though. But you guys are my co-hosts for today. So yay. So I see all you guys in there talking about, let's see, how you guys hate people acting like soap actors are beneath them. Yeah, Lawrence Fishburne was on One Life to Live. Sarah, Angela, yeah, all those people started on soaps. And some of them decided to come back to, pay homage to Julianne Moore, came back for As Well Turns. Sarah, so yeah, so you guys are my co-hosts today. So the way I'm going to describe this past week, 3 episodes, was control was tested, relationships was pushed, and consequences finally showed up. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start with the character that was the MVP of getting on my damn nerves, and that's Leslie. Okay. So when I say that Leslie went and spelled, like, she went every which way and then some. And before anybody says it, yes, I know that the show is very Leslie centric. Like, Leslie is every which way in everybody's little storyline. But you need a character, and I constantly say this because when we talk about another show, they're doing it wrong, but with this, they're kind of doing it right. Because somebody's going to get her at this point. Trisha Mann Grant is doing her damn thing, though. I will say that. You guys agree, she's definitely an MVP of that? Yes. Because she, like Trish, and we've seen her grow because she's been in other projects, but I'm just talking about Beyond the Gates, is she has just become the villain, right? She's that woman that is just like, heck, like, why? Why are you doing this? But then you kind of peel back and you wonder if there's a point to it. So let's find out what's going on. So I have my little notes, by the way. And by the way, super chats are welcome. Just saying. Okay. So did y'all know that Eva's getting married? So Leslie took it upon herself, Lord, to insert herself in Chelsea and Madison's wedding planning. So Chelsea and Madison are trying to book a location. They got the date. They're calling all around. But Leslie is over, she's eavesdropping. She's being nosy on the what. And she is literally telling a wedding planner to book these dates, the same dates that Chelsea and Madison are doing. She's pretty much sabotaging Chelsea and Madison's wedding because Eva and Isaiah are getting married. Did y'all know that? Did you know that? Because guess who didn't know? Eva and Isaiah. They didn't know. They didn't know they getting married. I mean, I would like to know, when did I miss a proposal? Did right? I was like this. I was like, wait, did I miss the episode? Like, did Beyond the Gates get preempted? And did I miss an episode? Because even when confronted, Leslie refused to back down, right? And she's pushing. Here's what I didn't like. She's pushing the vision onto Eva and saying, okay, um, y'all two, like even Eva and Isaiah, putting pressure on them for them to have a wedding, to get married in front of the whole town. Here's what cracks me up about Leslie. Leslie wants to be the fairest maiden of the land. She wants to be, everybody's looking at me. Wait a minute, hold on. Darn it, where's my tiara at? She wants to be the queen of Fairmount. She wants her daughter to have everything and everything. And Isaiah's like this. If this woman don't get out of my freaking face. So now Eva and Isaiah are working together to kind of push back and fight her directly. Chat room, how y'all doing? Is Leslie being is Leslie being too controlling, or she's just straight up crazy? Because I've never. She really is Jeremy. Jeremy says she's the definitions of a narcissist. Yes. Yes, she is. Because I don't understand. Like, she wasn't even trying to be a little bit. Okay, Samantha says she wasn't even trying to be a little bit original. She even took the band that clearly was personal. She really doesn't. Like, when I say that Eva, because Kat was the one who said something that I said, and you can see the look on their face of like, say what now? So the whole week, well, the 3 days, but it was a whole week, right? Eva and Isaiah spent the whole week. They reacted. Isaiah tried to set boundaries. And Eva is clearly feeling uncomfortable about how things are. And it's not just about sabotage. No, no, no. It's continuing. They were arguing. And Isaiah and her was like, you know what? We're going to come up with a plan to work around it. Chat room. How can I say this? Do you think this is going to cause more? When I say this, like Leslie, Leslie, is this going to cause Isaiah and Eva to split? Because let's think about Eva for a second. She knows her mother. She knows that her mother um is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She knows that once her mom is on a freight train to getting what she wants, there's no stopping her. And even though we've seen Eva try to stop her mama before, we notice that Eva will um she will say she's going to do something against her mother, but then all of a sudden she's like, no, this is my mama. I understand what she's trying to do. She just wants the best for me, blah, 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 blah. But now it's like, like, he's a really good guy. And to me, I'm going to tell you straight up, he's somebody who does not play around. And we've seen this. He tried to set boundaries with Leslie. And Leslie's all like, child, baby, you know. But I don't know, like, are they doing this right? Or like, again, do we think that Eva is going to? Okay, let me see. Samantha just said it for me. I think Eva's secrets are going to cause issues between her and Isaiah more than her mother's angst. Isaiah is trying to be open with her, but she's not doing the same. And this is where, oh God, I don't want to do this. This is where, remember a couple of months ago on the show, I said I can defend Eva to a certain point because we have to realize how she's grown up. She's grown up trying to be trying to justify her mom's actions, but also she wants to make a mark in her own world, if that makes sense. And she's never really seen a healthy relationship before. All she knows is, in my head, this is Candice talking here. Well, literally, I am talking. That to keep secrets buried. But we all know what happens when secrets are uncovered. And I'm wondering, is she afraid to be open with him because he might judge her? And that's going to it's kind of weird. It's a weird situation. But I'm going to say this. I, at first I was I thought, okay, I like these two together, but I don't know if he's the right guy for her. Don't get me, because I feel as though he has a big secret that he hasn't told yet. And if you guys know what secret I'm talking about, I personally feel as though he's involved in something else, which we're going to get to in a minute. So, I mean, how do you guys really feel about them two as a pairing? One, so she might be afraid that once. There you go, Jeremy. Jeremy says she might be afraid that once the secret is out, it'll end up causing legal troubles for her mother. D182 said when the mom walked by Tomas, didn't look like he cared about Eva or Kat. Eva girl, as I said before, and I'll say it again, I would say do what's best for you, but you you know your mama, and you don't want to cause your mom any more pain. But she's embarrassing you right now. She's sabotaging somebody else's wedding, and that's not right. So we'll see. Maybe if it was just her knowing about her mother's crimes and didn't say anything, he could probably look past it. But she's actually hidden evidence, so that's something. Exactly. Exactly. Oh, girl. I I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray for you. Speaking of prayers, it goes into the next situation. And Beyond the Gates, you were so wrong for doing this. Because when this scene came on, I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of people paused. They went on social media and they cussed so many people out. People was like, I know darn good and well they didn't just do what I think they just did. Not right now. Not another one. We was just recovering off of Doug. Nuh-uh. I'm talking about Naomi and Jacob. Okay. So Naomi had an emotional week. I'm giving her, how am I going to give her? I want to give her an award. To me, she's the MVP of reality crashing in and how this is going to really make her feel. I don't know. So she started having nightmares about Jacob's health and safety. We see a scene where Danny knocks on the door and Naomi is like, Mom, what are you doing here? Danny comes in, she's all emotional. She's like, baby, I gotta tell you something. And Naomi was like, what? What's going on? And Danny said, he gone. He gone to the higher ups. He gone. And Naomi, and shout out to homegirl, because you saw every emotion. Because I mean, that's a real thing when, spouses of firefighters, officers, military, anybody who's really putting their lives on the line. You kind of expect, I don't want to say expect those calls or visits, but it's the anticipation, like your nerves are already shot because they're already gone, right? Out of your sight. So when Danny said he gone, he died in the line of duty, and Naomi was like, no, no, you're gonna lie. For a minute, I was like, yeah, I know it's March Madness week. I always say that because Bold up until now, like Bold was the winner of cliffhangers right before, college basketball. But with Beyond the Gates, I was like, now I know this show did not. I was like, okay, let me sit myself down, because we've talked about how this was not safe at all for Jacob. We know that he is not the brightest tool in the shed. We know that, again, cop life undercover, it can be a risky situation. We knew all of this. But I'm going to tell you something. I was like, now, they always say expect the unexpected on the show. So I was like, remember, I said, this is going to make Naomi feel a certain type of way because she hasn't told him the truth. There's the baby factor in all this. There's Jacob's father in all of this. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. But then I noticed Danny. Here's how I knew something was up. Because to me, Danny would be more emotional than she was. Just a mama, right? Okay. So he ain't dead. Let's see here. Let me go back to you guys. My co-host for today. Samantha said Leslie is also an adult. It's not Eva's job to continually protect her from the crazy. I'm going to say this: a child's job ranges from taking care of your mom, your dad, making sure that they're okay. Sometimes the child's job is reversed; they become the parent. And not only that, that's Eva and Leslie's only had each other. So it's sort of like I protect her, even if I know she's crazy. That's still my mama, y'all. That's still my mama. Samantha also said, I knew it was a dream right away, only because there's no way that Danny and the other would be planning a wedding in the same episode if Naomi just lost her husband. That would be confronting. Okay, so here's the deal. We've all seen some crazy things happen in an episode, right? We've seen actors swap places, right? You know, the recast happened. We've seen where 1 minute a character could be in New York City, and by the end of the episode or midway, they're somewhere in DC. Just saying. So even though Samantha, I knew you picked up on it, I will say that it sometimes it's not that far stretched. So yeah. But then you have on top of that, her anxiety starts to grow. She's still not leaning on Jacob, but she opens up to Ashley. Ashley gets an MVP too. I'm gonna tell you what her MVP in a minute. And she's like talking about everything. Like Ashley is her true best friend because she's telling her everything and about just about everything. And Ashley is being a good person. She's being a good friend. But she's also telling her, like, you need to tell Jacob. So what did you guys think? What do you guys think about? Um, do you I mean there's a lot to be like thinking about because you gotta feel sorry for Naomi. Naomi is really having a rough patch right now. Worried about her husband, um, not trusting her husband, especially with her illness. Do you think she's using Ashley as an emotional anchor because she doesn't have nobody else? I mean, she really could. If you think about it, Naomi, really could trust. So, what do you guys think? Because I'm all over the place with this. I feel as though I see that Naomi doesn't want to plague everybody with her fears, but with Ashley, the reason that she's doing this with Ashley is because one, Ashley does not have anybody right now. Like in the sense of Ashley is kind of a lone wolf in Naomi's eyes. So it's one thing to talk about the medical stuff because Ashley is a nurse. But now you're putting a little bit too much on Ashley. Like Ashley is like her, to me, it is her anchor. So let me see. Naomi doesn't have anyone else because she chooses not to have anyone else. I believe Jeremy says, I believe she wants to protect Jacob by not telling her about this. I believe she wants to protect Jacob by not telling about this now, but I also think that it's a good excuse not to tell. Here, okay. I'm going to go to something Samantha said. Naomi isn't telling everybody everything because, and again, we all know a Naomi. You may be a Naomi too, where we know that there's some other things going on in everybody else's lives that they need to focus on. And again, I personally have said this, is that Naomi would have said something if her mother did not have this. If her like everybody is worried about Anita. Everybody, Danny is still living her life, but she's probably gonna worry. Then you got Jacob. Then you got Kat. Then you got Chelsea. So everybody is in their own lane. Where Naomi, and I believe she's been like this since day one, like since she was a little kid, is she keeps to herself and she tries to figure out the answers before she says anything. The problem with that is when you do that, you really become overwhelmed, especially when you're finding out more about the condition that you're in, because you're going to have a breakdown moment. And I'm going to speak from experience. Some of you guys know that I have sarcoidosis. I did my research. I got scared because I did not talk to nobody about this. And there was some things I went and I did the thing that some people don't that shouldn't be doing this is I went online and I read every bad case scenario and I got overwhelmed and I felt like calling somebody, but I was like, nobody knows this. And I don't want them to be overwhelmed. I don't want them to be like, oh, Candice, oh, baby. I didn't want the pity. I just wanted somebody to say, hey, girl, do you, da da da. And I think that's what Naomi is. Naomi is that person that she's very strong minded, she's strong willed, and she doesn't know how right now, she doesn't know outside of the emotional standard how to really react to this. Not only that, but she's dealing with the fact that her husband, who still wants a baby, then she wants But once you find somebody you can talk to about one topic, it becomes a lot of topics. And again, Ashley being her friend, Ashley knows that Naomi clearly does not have others. But I'm going to be honest, speaking of from who's been on both sides of the fence on this, there gets to be a certain point where, as a friend, you do have to say, instead of talking to me about it, why don't you talk to your husband about it? Why don't you talk to your mom about this? Why don't you talk to da 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 da? I will be right there with you if you need me to. And I have a feeling down the line that might happen. Right. And the fact that Naomi doesn't, and because I can already see the scene when people find out, the first thing they're going to say to Naomi is, why didn't you tell us? And then Naomi said, because I didn't want to bother anybody. I didn't want anybody to feel more of a burden. And I'm like, girl, but that's what family is for. I'm being honest. Samantha says Danny has the BRCA gene. She's still finding ways to enjoy her life, especially trying to be peacemaker between uncle and nephew. Uh, Samantha didn't say that part. That was me inserting my part. Naomi is making it harder than it needs to be. However, I think it's her personality that causes her to handle things this way. She's a lawyer. She grew up in a world of political figures and lawyers. And what does lawyers and political figures usually have to do? Very stern, very upfront, and tell the truth. And if they don't tell the truth, they will keep it down on lock until they get all the information and then they present their case. That's Naomi. And then when it comes very overwhelming, it feels, because she's made this comment before. When people look at you in a different light, whether you're carrying a child or you're sick, and this is, I mean, sadly, this is a true statement. People will look at you differently and treat you different versus before, right? So Naomi feels as though, like, I don't want any kind of special treatment. I just want to be me, but I'm on lock. I don't know, Naomi. This ain't good for you, girl. This ain't good for you. Is Bill still fantasizing about Danny? Well, this week, speaking of Bill, actually, you know what? Okay, so I have notes that I'm literally that I wrote down. And I'm going to say this. The emotional backbone of the week goes to Anita and Bill. Because we found out some things. And I was like, these two, considering what Bill did to Danny, it's still amazing to me how he still misses. He really does miss that family. He misses, and we got a real good indication of why. Bill has said many times that Vernon is the father that he's always wanted, and Vernon treated him like a son. But this week, when Anita, she opened up about her health and she said she wasn't feeling good. And wait, James, you coming on? Really?
I actually saw these scenes.
Okay.
I can comment.
Okay. So I'm gonna
We're talking. You finish talking. I mean, I'll comment.
So, they're talking and Anita's saying, and I'm probably gonna cry on this one because this kind of hit home. I remember my great grandmother doing this. And she was like explaining how she's not doing well and she needs more care, that she's letting on because she didn't want everybody to feel as though she wasn't strong. And she didn't want to acknowledge that. And so she's seeking out more information regarding medical help. She's committing to her recovery. At the same time, Bill comes over and, notices a little change in Anita. And she's not going to give up. She's not. She's going to still fight. But then he shared a story, which I was like, okay, we now know Bill a little bit better. When he was talking about his mother's struggle with depression, because she was sick too. And Bill saw firsthand how 1 minute his mom was like, yeah, to I want to kill myself. I want to hurt myself because this is too much. And he encouraged Anita not to lose herself in her illness. And I'm going to pause before James speaks because I think both of us, I know James, you guys follow James. You guys know he's been through hell and back and hell again and hell and back on all ends. His health, his mama, all that. You guys know that, like I said, my great grandmother, who I call my grandmother, I knew she had diabetes. I didn't know she was dying of cancer until literally the month before she died. You guys know that I'm dealing with my own battle of sarcoidosis, which right now, thankfully I'm okay. But when I found out, I felt so secluded. I had really bad depression, believe it or not. But when I saw these scenes this week, I was like, it was just really emotional. You saw the support. You saw just, the storyline shifted from fear, vulnerability to strength and determination. James, what did you think?
Okay. So for me, I saw these scenes by accident. I'm not caught up on them. Whenever I saw it. Okay. I want to talk about the scenes themselves. The scenes themselves were so well constructed, well written, well acted. It was completely a masterclass in how men, I'm a man, were able to compartmentalize in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can cross over when we least expect it. He liked being part of the Dupree family. That I did. I don't even doubt any of that part. I think he loved his wife for a long time. Long marriages go through issues. He let his other piece of him run his life and got with other homies. But the Dupree family, we're talking, there's a whole history in just years of them together. And in a lot of families, and not just Black people, but in families, sometimes when you have that, your in-laws become part of your family. And so I have son-in-laws. Um, and I do know, I'm close to especially one of them. I'm learning to get close to the other one, but I'm close to one of them. And so he's not perfect, but I still love and care about him. And I know he feels the same about me. And so I thought it was beautiful the work they were doing because the writers gave us just a bigger glimpse on Bill, like you said.
Yep.
Oh, his father was this way, his mother was that way. You reminded me of my mother. You guys aren't alike at all. Now, let me explain the way that just his little mini monologues were so good, where she just listened. Tamara Tooney, who's just killing this storyline, obviously. I'm sorry for the words. She sits there and she feels not fully defeated, but she's tired. And
Yeah.
she's playing the role so well as a person who has cancer myself. I'm just at the beginning of my journey, but she's tired. And he sees it, but he cares about her too. He's like, you can't give up. So there was this great little kind of undercurrent of pep talk mixed with her just like trying to hold it together. She's just trying to hold together because it's rough right now for her. And we got a glimpse because all of this is so we don't have flashbacks to go to. There's no
No.
years of to look at. So they have to build that backstory for us in real time, so to speak. So to me, it gave us a glimpse of Bill being part of that family. And
Yep.
I thought it was just some well done scenes between them. Both actors are just they're good actors anyway, so it's like it's not even thing. But the writing, I'll give the writers credit because Candice and I are writers and writers. I just think I'm like, wow, they wrote some really good stuff. So now we get a little more glimpse of Bill.
Yep.
Uh, Now we get a little more glimpse into them as a
Yup.
pre him in there. Um, and also it didn't take you out of it. Like it was just like, here's a moment. He's
Yep.
going back to his life. She's gonna do what she's gonna do. But coming from him, this is the great thing about writing. Having someone who's not super close to her, you bring him in, say some wise words. That sometimes has more of effect than someone you talk to every day. When someone out of the blue says something to you, you're like, yeah, you're right. And instead of someone who's in your life every single day trying to tell you stuff. Um, Jerry Burns says it's better they did deal with flashbacks. Timon did a wonderful job talking about his parents. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that's the thing. We don't have that. We don't have that. That's why they did a great job by giving us because all backstory is going to be reliant on the writing and them telling us the backstory. So we got to absorb it all in. So I'm like, but you never know, Jeremy. Sometimes flashbacks are good too. So I mean, you never know. They could have enhanced it, whatever. But I'm just saying, since we don't have that, this is great. They both did such a wonderful job giving us a full picture kind of that time period. And that's all I had to say about that part. Good job, Candice. Bye.
Okay. Shout out to Amanda Russ in the chat room. Who, yeah, Amanda. No, we already told what happened. Girl, you just got kidnapped. Point blank. Period. That was it. No. Look, the co-host decided to kidnap you and put you somewhere where nobody can find you until next week. So there you go. Um, but yeah, like I said, those scenes to me, that was by far the emotional scene of the week. That was the MVP. The most valuable player for emotions was between those two, Bill and Anita. Now let's go to the triangle that's heating up, Fairmount Crest. Over here we had okay. So there was a lot of hospital drama. The chief and staff does not like Ashley at all. Actually, she doesn't like nothing that's happening at the hospital because again, I'm still stuck on the fact when she told everybody, what is everybody's job? What is everybody? What is y'all supposed to be working? Why do we have to know about everybody's relationships? Why does everybody doing this? Like, what are you supposed to be doing? Ashley over there, she's not only being um Naomi's sounding board, but she is getting hit. So Ashley gets blamed for issues she didn't cause. She's refusing to expose anybody else because that's Ashley. On the flip side, you have the triangle of Nicole, Kai, and Colton. So again, Kai and Colton, they're pursuing her in a different way. Okay. Kai comes in, he's strong, direct, intense. He pushing Nicole emotionally to the point where she pulls back and asks for some space. Okay. I'm giving you a clap, okay? Colton, he's like more patient and supportive. But yeah, you've been all this for 30 years because that's Ted's best friend. So you've been, you know what? Let it go, Candice. Let it go. So as the week goes on, Kai recognized he went too far. He said sorry. He attempted to make things right. And at the same time, he does something that made Nicole think. So Kai, again, he apologized. He was like, look, I came in too hard. I came in the wrong way. It's just, you are a lot of woman for me. And I appreciate you. And I like you. And I think we're vibing. Okay, he didn't say all that, but that's just the interpretation. So he decided to give her a key to his place. Meanwhile, Colton is doing like this. He's all there being steady, but Nicole did not make a choice. But she's kind of going back between the passion and stability and everything. So even Kat goes ahead and she's at the hospital too. And she goes to Kai and she says, like, okay, what's your intent with my mom? So Kai and Kat, they have a talk. And at the end, Kat approves of him. So Kai is winning, y'all. Kai is winning. Here's what I'm gonna have to I say this. Okay. When that scene, because I see you guys saying it in the chat, like, because Amanda said, "Oh, Kai made Nicole mad." It wasn't mad. It was just like, "Are you serious right now?" Instead of, again, it's one of those things where Kai is like, he like, again, he came in strong and direct. He's not going to tiptoe through the window. He's going to tell you straight up, you're a beautiful woman. I like you. There's a mutual attraction between us, sexually and professionally. Da 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 da. And was he too aggressive in his statement? Yes and no. But again, you got Colton, and I'm having a problem. And I'm glad you guys are seeing it with me. Like, Samantha says, I'm with you, Candice. I'm still not a fan of Colton and Nicole because of his close relationship with Ted over the years. I said this last night. If this was anybody else, if this was homeboy down the street, Todd, who knew Nicole because of passing by, okay. But you literally have your husband's best friend, and that's why I had a problem with Nicole. I feel as though, like, Nicole, I understand hot girl spring, but that is your husband's best friend. So you're no better. If anything, it's a little bit more messier than with Ted and Leslie, because at least you didn't know Leslie. Leslie wasn't, I mean, if that makes sense. So, chat room, I'm going to ask the question. Should Nicole refuse? Okay. Should Nicole have rejected the key to Kai's house? I'm gonna wait for you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe to JLJ Media. I appreciate everybody watching today. Flying solo. But next week we'll have Amanda back. She's gonna give us her spin about what's going on with everything in Fairmount Crest. Make sure you keep it locked and low, because after this is Young and Restless and Bold. So yeah. So chat room. Should Nicole accept the key, or should she be like, no, baby, no, baby? Just I'm asking for a friend. Now, while you guys are talking about that, I would like to give the official MVP of this week's Beyond the Gates. It was 3 episodes, but this person is the MVP. This person not only stand by his woman, not only is this person gives good advice to people who have done his family wrong. It's a he, by the way. Not only is this person a good dancer and a good singer, as we've seen, but this person gets the MVP for doing something that just made me proud all inside. I'm talking about Mr. Vernon Dupree. Vernon Dupree, he played the long game this short week again. So Leslie's over here causing chaos, busy and all stuff. He's watching, he's awaiting, right? Okay. Again, he's concerned about his wife, the love of his life. He cares for his grandkids because remember, Kat's moving in, right? He cares about everybody. But Vernon, patiently waiting, quietly watching. He got the permit for them to shut Leslie's construction down. So here's the thing. Leslie's construction is shut down because of a minor property violation. You're welcome. Me and Amanda did that. Screw you, Leslie, for writing me up. Then he because he orchestrated this. He really had people doing the dirty work, right? He calculated the response to her behavior. Then a clear message that she doesn't have all the power. Vernon literally said, "You're no better than anybody else. And don't try to come for my family." Vernon doesn't do some things that some other people, like a Victor Newman, a Eric or Rich Forster does. He didn't yell. He didn't get into an argument. He reacted emotionally. He just pretty much did what he had to do. His actions speaks louder than anything else. And that is why I am personally giving him the MVP. Love you too, Amanda. Personally, the MVP of this whole week. Because Vernon has sat by for months. Think about it, you guys. We've been talking about this. Why is Leslie thinking she can get away with everything? There's been warnings. There's been, things. But at the end of the day, Vernon Dupree shut her down. Shut it down. And like you said, I love that Samantha says, I love the fact it was over an inch over the property line. I'm going to tell you something. So here's the thing about Maryland. And by the way, there was this whole discussion about if Baltimore was a part of the DMV. Baltimore is not. DMV, look it up. This whole thing. If you, okay. DC line, Virginia line, and Maryland line. If you cross over, it's not even an inch. It's like little a quarter of like this. You can actually technically really actually go to jail or a fine. That's not a joke. That's a true statement. But Vernon, like he said, Leslie, you remember how I started the show? Leslie is everywhere. to the point where she's not paying attention to what needs to be paid attention to. She hasn't really been paying attention to the construction of her house. She hasn't really also been paying attention to her finances. Keep that in mind as we go on towards the summer. She has not really been paying attention to her finances because you think about it, she's throwing money left and right. Money here, money there, money there, money there, money there. She only got a certain amount of money, right? And remember, she's cut off that there's no more money flowing in. So think about that. Leslie is doing too much, but don't worry because it's going to catch up to her. And Vernon, y'all saying Vernon for president? Shoot. Can we get him to be like the global world leader? Let me see. Vernon, Kayla said Vernon did that, but I'm upset they didn't show Shanice aren't getting in that. Everyone gave Leslie you can get it attitude. Oh yeah, Shanice's aunt was funny too. Real quick, she flirted with Kai. See, everybody knows Kai's a good guy here. Unlike Grayson. But no, I'm just like, again, Vernon has warned this woman. And again, he didn't do the whole, I'm Vernon Dupree, I will crush you. I'm Vernon Dupree. He did nothing. He was like, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to say. That little inch. When I tell you, folks, if anybody feels this way, because I know right now a lot of people have dipped out to the hype of Beyond the Gates because everybody's like, okay, it's too Leslie centric. Nothing makes sense right now. I'm so over Anita in the cancer storyline. Who cares about this and that? I'm going to say for me, and this is me, I think the best is about to happen. I think something big is about to go down. And this is all the soaps are right now at this point. Even Young and the Restless, I got so many things to say. Where right now, everybody is chilled. Everybody's chilled. They're getting their spots together. They're getting things prepared. Because again, on Beyond the Gates, I'm just going to use Beyond the Gates. We have the debutante ball happening. We have the launch, the fashion, right? We have the clinic opening. We have the possible reveal of more people in the drug ring. We have, what else do we have here? Truth being exposed, a wedding, and allegedly somebody's wife is coming to town. We still have a lot of questions that needs to be answered and a lot of answers that we still figuring out questions to. And we got to remember what happens this summer is the crossover event, Young and the Restless and BTG. I'm just saying. We got a lot that's about to pop on the show. And again, Leslie's downfall. Because again, the Duprees, like Vernon, Eva, and Isaiah. And who else knows who's going to come after Leslie? This is what soaps are usually supposed to do, is to build it up. Even though right now, again, I understand. Look, some of you guys are Leslie fatigued. But it's the anticipation of, wait a minute, oh shoot, something's about to go down and Leslie may have her downfall. You know, right now she's in her, you can't touch me, I'm Leslie, you can't touch me. But we know that when somebody does touch, what's going to happen? Psychotic, but she's going to go down. So in wrap, because we're going to wrap it up, because we're going to get ready for the Caban show. This week, every character was pushed into a position where they had to respond, react, whether it was Leslie losing control, Nicole being forced to choose between two different kinds of love. Team Ka, by the way. And Anita deciding if fighting for her life really means fighting for her life. It wasn't just about the drama. It was about how people handle pressure. Hence why pressure changes everything, right? Because it does. When you're under pressure, and I can't sing the song, even though earlier before we started recording, you can ask James. I was trying so hard. I was singing. I was like, oh, I can't do the beat either. Darn it. Right. But when you're under pressure, things start to fall apart. And when things fall apart, what's the first thing everybody tries to do? Try to make sure it doesn't fall apart. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Naomi handles some things. Jacob / Smitty. Smitty's involved in this. We got the campaign. It's a lot going on in Fairmount Crush, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot going on. Literally a lot. Just like James Lott Jr. is a lot. So, just saying. Tie that in. But you guys, let me read it up real quick. Samantha says, I'm still loving the show. I will say I'm ready for Leslie to suffer more consequences, but I'm believing the writers know what they're doing. And that's the thing. I know with a lot of soaps, trust me, that's the number one thing is, do the writers know what they're doing? I'm going to be honest with you. They do. They do. Because if they didn't, then we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be talking about it. So they must be doing something right. Because, again, yeah, you say, after all this chaos, I hope that, you know what? I wouldn't mind a beachfront wedding in Ocean City. There you go. I'm keeping all this in Maryland, right? Even if they want to come to the Inner Harbor for a location shoot, and I could be the official, because y'all know I can do weddings, by the way. That's just shameless plug on my end. So, but you guys, thank you so much for being my co-host today. I really appreciate it. Amanda, feel better. Like I said, keep it locked and loaded onto JLJ Media, because coming up next, Tammy's going to be on Glowing, Floating. As James, me and her talk about all the things that went down in the GC in LA. Trust me, it's a lot. It's a lot. You guys believe in Michelle Valjean? By the way, real quick before I log off, y'all best to stop messing with this woman, because I'm telling you, y'all saw what she posted. She wanted to know how to block people. Folks, I'm keeping it 100 with you. Michelle is the last one to really go back and forth on social media with you in a positive way. You guys can talk about her past experience from Jake and the Fat Man to Generations, Santa Barbara, General Hospital, Beyond the Gates, and whatnot. But please do not put her into conversations where it's about dissing cast members for their looks, their sexual beliefs, religious beliefs, or anything that's a negative. If you have something negative to say, don't tag her in it, okay? Because I'm telling you, if she leaves social media, we have nobody. We really don't have anybody to really engage with regarding soaps, like behind the scenes and in front of the scenes. So please, you guys, please be respectful. And again, let me real quick and see. It's interesting knowing Joey's mom had surgery. I think it was Ted. But deep down, I'm wondering maybe that's why Joey keeps secrets on everyone. He's going to pay back, do payback and avenge. No, seriously, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And stay tuned for all things JLJ Media. I love you guys. You guys take care and happy spring. Peace. Bye. James is going to make me keep doing this.